Solving absolute value inequalities. I have written here greater or less than, and this is going to make more sense in just a minute. But to get started, remember when we had an absolute value equation? Hopefully you remember that we split this into two pieces. We make one equation that looks exactly the same, and the other equation we put in the negative. Okay, and then we solve both. So I subtract 7 from both sides, I get x equals -5. Here I subtract 7 from both sides, I get x equals -9. So if I plug -5 in here, I get a +2. The absolute value of +2 is 2. And if I plug in -9, I get -2, and the absolute value of -2 is 2. So they're both correct. All right, so this is in the notes, but it says when solving absolute value inequalities, the first inequality is the same, just like with an equation. You write out the first inequality. The second inequality, you flip the constant sign and the inequality sign. Okay? So, for example, for this one, I'm going to write out exactly how it is. X plus 7 is less than 2. But now I've got to flip both. Okay, so I've got x plus 7. This is less than. I'm going to turn that into a greater than -2. Now the other thing, well, what we've got here is a compound inequality. We've got 2. And what connects those is either and or. And the way that we can remember it with these is this right here is a less than sign. It's really dumb, I know, but it works. So if it's less than, then I know that this is going to be an and. So let's solve these. So we subtract 7 from all of these. Okay, and when I'm writing out an and, remember it's sandwiched between, the x is sandwiched between the two ends. So I'm going to take my lower number and put it down here, and I'm going to take my higher number and put it up here. I'm going to sandwich the x between them, and remember that the crocodile eats what's ever biggest. Okay, so I've got my signs going this way. All right, so that's the answer to this one. This is a greater than sign. So we have greater, which again I know is really dumb, but hopefully you'll remember it. So I make my little lines here. Okay, one of them is going to be exactly the same. The other, we flip the inequality sign and we make this a negative. Okay, subtract 7. I've got x is greater than -5. And over here I have x is less than -9. And I know this is an or because it's greater. All right? Now let's say I forgot. Let's say I don't know the greater or less than, and I don't know. I can always graph it. Just do a really quick sketch. X is less than -9, and x is greater than -5. So I see that the graph has two inequality lines going out, and it looks like ors, remember? So this is how I know that it's an or. All right. Okay, so let's do a couple more. So here we've got, this one's really simple. We have x is less than or equal to 3.5. We write out exactly what it says. And now we switch the inequality sign and we make it negative. Now is this a less than or a greater? This is less than, so this is going to be an and. So I take the smaller one the bigger one, put an X in the middle, and the crocodile's going to eat whatever's biggest. Okay? Over here, again, I'm going to split this into two. 2W minus 1 is less than, so this is going to be an and, less than 11. And 2W minus 1 is, flip the inequality sign, greater than negative 11. So I add 1 to both sides. I have W is less than 12. Okay, divide both sides by 2, and I get W is less than 6. Okay, over here I add 1 to both sides. I get W is greater than negative 10. Divide by 2. And no signs switch. No, I don't need to switch the sign because I'm dividing by a positive. Okay, but this now becomes W is greater than negative 5, and it's an and, so I put my smaller number here, my larger number here, I sandwich in the W, and I eat what's biggest. Okay, let's just talk about this one for a second. Some people would look at this and just automatically start, making the two inequalities and starting. But for just a second, I want you to think, if I have anything in an inequality sign, or sorry, absolute value sign, okay, anything inside of that is positive. Well, what's inside of it could be negative, but when I take it out of the absolute value signs, it becomes positive. All right, so this is going to be positive. Can I have a positive number that is smaller than negative 1? No, I can't. So in this situation, we have no solution. All right, so we don't even have to do any computing with that. All right, I've got some for you to try, but I'm going to have you guys do these in the next video.